So I think we're ready to get started. So thank you for taking time out of your afternoon to join us for the last all-employee meeting. As many of you know, my name is Raymond Gonzalez, and I'm the interim I was going to say deputy county manager, interim county manager, and I'd like to welcome you to this session. But before we dive into the presentation this afternoon, I'd really like to introduce the county commissioners and have them come up and just say a little a welcome remark. Commissioner Henry.
Hi, everybody. I'm Commissioner Eva Henry, and I wanted to thank all of you, for taking the time out of your busy work schedule, or enjoy taking time off from your busy work schedule. Depends on how you look at it, and being here. We really do appreciate it. What we want you to be is comfortable. We want you to ask questions. This is a time for you to actually be honest with us, because this is your opportunity to tell us how you feel about things, or if you have questions about things. This is your meeting. So I really want you to make sure that you take advantage of this opportunity to tell us exactly how you feel. So with that, I'll turn it over to Commissioner O'Dorisio.
Thank you. My name is Steve O'Dorisio. I've been the county commissioner for 2 years. If you haven't noticed, there's 5 of us now instead of 3 for the last 2 years, and I've been proud to be part of that transition. Before I was a county commissioner, I served for almost 5 years at the DA's office. So I've been an employee here for about 7 years, and I'm really proud to work with the folks that I've gotten the opportunity to work with. And I was always impressed, and I continue to be impressed with the folks that we have here. And I'm proud to have done and worked side by side with so many of you. I do think it's important to note that this may be the last meeting of this cycle, but to front load a question that has come up almost every time, is that we will be doing this on a regular basis and on an actual in October of next year. So this year. Oh yes, it is this year, sorry. There is a schedule. We will be doing this on a regular basis. We look forward to it. You will find that a lot of times we will give you the answer that's the truth, and I think it's important to note that the truth includes highlighting some positives, but also you're going to see some areas that we definitely need to improve on, and we need to lay it all out there. And there's always going to be some good, there's always going to be some bad, and things that we need to focus on. But we're going to own it, and we do own it, and I'm looking forward to working on those areas that we need to improve and celebrating those areas that we are doing well in. So thank you. Oh, I'd like to introduce our newest county commissioner, Commissioner Mary Hodge.
Thank you. Well, welcome. I am Mary Hodge. There have been Hodges in Adams County since 1955, so there's a chance that you've probably run into one of us someplace or other. I came to the commission in January from 16 years at the state capitol. I am so proud to finally be part of this team. You know, Adams County has not always had the best reputation. Adams County has sometimes not earned the best reputation, and I am so excited that we seem to be on the path to cure that, to make it better, to make it a better place to live, a better place to work, better place to play, better place to be. So thank you for being here today, Commissioner Tedesco.
You're thanking me to be here? I am. No, just kidding. How are you guys? Thank you for coming out. Hey, I want to thank the Transportation Department for all the fine work they did on the roads last night. All that heavy snow, right? Had to plow? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We didn't have to plow. But thank you very much for all you do, because, you know, they did get like 2 feet of snow in Estes Park. We didn't get that much, but we're having fun down here in the rain, right? Come on, all of you guys are having fun in the rain, right? All right, if this is how this meeting is going to go. All right, so what I want to say is that, you know, earlier we talked about asking questions and being comfortable. Please ask questions. We need your input. We can't do these things without your input. Sometimes we do things that work. Sometimes we do things that don't work. We need to know both. What's working? What isn't working? What do you see us considering that you think is a problem? What do you see us considering that you think is right? We need to have your approval moving forward, because it's about you. You have to live and work here. We need to know what your thoughts are on this, and that's why we have these. Please participate. That's all I'm asking. Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners. And so I just looked at a sheet. We've been keeping track of all the questions that people have asked over the last 3 days, and there's over 30 questions. And so Jim just informed me before this meeting started, that we're going to do a separate interview with myself and Jim answering those 30 questions and put that on a different video for all the employees to hear what other questions were asked. Otherwise, we would be here till probably 6 o'clock addressing those questions. So just wanted to let you know. We're going to go ahead and kick off the meeting with the video. After the video, I have 2 short presentations, and then I will introduce the senior leadership team, and then we'll dive into Q&A session. So,
hi, I'm Jim from the Public Information Office, and it's hard to believe that a year from now, hundreds of employees who call this Human Services building home will be joining forces with all of their colleagues from Human Services in our fantastic new Pete Morellis Human Services Center near 120th and Pecos. Certainly exciting times for that group of employees, but the rest of the employees within the county had a banner year in 2016 as well. And we want to show you some of those highlights in just a few moments. But first, we wanted to ask employees, what's great about working for Adams County?
Put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying?
What do you like about working here?
I like working for the citizens of Adams County. We make a difference for each and every citizen that we help.
The vision that we have from leadership down and from employees up.
Let me put some chapstick on.
The opportunities that management gives us for exploring our personal and professional development.
The challenge of the work, Adams County is growing, so there's a lot of things to do.
I think the best thing is just helping people, and it does have great benefits in having my weekends off.
I love that there's so many training opportunities. I like that I've been able to advance quickly in my almost 6 years of being here.
I don't know, next question.
There's only one question.
Oh.
How welcoming the people are. I feel like I'm part of the family, and I just started.
We have great coworkers.
Really enjoy the culture here and all the employees that I work with.
I personally enjoy working with the people and getting to have day-to-day interactions with all kinds of different people, meet new people.
Get to meet different people, get to see different areas. It's not just one area.
The best part is the community. Everybody's super helpful if you have questions.
See, delete that whole thing.
Some fun answers from a great group of employees. But before we get to the video of the highlights, we need to discuss what's going on in here with corn nuts. Anybody want anything? No? There's plenty left. There's a whole nother bag over here too. You know.
He's so ratting me out over here.
What's the deal with the corn nuts? Does that get you through?
They were on sale at the store today.
What y'all trying to do? What you trying to do? 24 karat magic in the
Well, they are, actually, at King Supers.
We're getting a new building, and we get to eat corn nuts.
A couple of moments ago, we mentioned the highlights from 2016. There were a lot of them. We are a pretty amazing bunch.
break it down like 24 karat, 24 karat. What's that sound?
It's easy to see why we have such a range of answers. We're a diverse blend of 2,000 employees doing incredible work in the service of our residents. And next year at this time, more than 700 of you will be moved in and operating at the new Pete Morellis Human Services Center. These employees are already performing at a world-class level. Monica Sorensen reported on Workplace 95% or higher timeliness in 8 of the 9 eligibility program areas. Just imagine how a new environment, one that is already drawing national praise for the approach to service delivery, will impact these dedicated employees. Another group meeting goals and setting records is the team in community and economic development. A 90% customer satisfaction rating is remarkable, especially when you consider they processed nearly 5,000 building permits, a jump of 30%, and the average permit was reviewed within 8 days.
Guess who's back again?
Code compliance workers were busy too, responding to more than 3,000 cases. That's a record. Animal management rounded up nearly 1,500 stray or abandoned animals from the field, and the homes of 51 residents were impacted through our minor home repair program. Long-range planning had an award-winning year with the district plan and Making Connections both bringing home some hardware. Working with partners in our municipalities is at the core of their approach, and the long-range team also increased community engagement by hosting or taking part in 57 community meetings last year. And nothing brings the community together quite like the Adams County Fair. The county's signature event provides a family-friendly escape for our residents, but for this team, it's really an exercise in teamwork and collaboration between parks and nearly a dozen other departments. It's that spirit of teamwork that is helping all of our departments make real progress toward the Commissioner's goals of improving service delivery and overall quality of life for our residents, especially those who benefit from the volunteer efforts through the Heart at Work program. Oh yeah, we did all of that and a lot more. We opened a disc golf course and a bridge. We paved roads and plowed them too. We provided direct service to more than 300 veterans. We were innovative, building a new website, introducing kiosks, rolling out Ion Adams' new e-permit center. We worked on high-profile projects like Operation Freebird and the 2016 general election. We helped people prepare their taxes and answered all of their property tax questions. We're setting the pace in sustainability practices, rolling out a bus bench that features a solar charging station for your phone, and securing a grant for more electric charging stations. We bring families together by finding new homes for animals we care for, and we give them great places to explore together. We pay our vendors and our employees, all while managing the complex county budget. We recruited, hired, and trained hundreds of new employees last year and handled their help desk calls, thousands of them. We maintained our buildings to the highest standards and managed our fleet in the same fashion. We did all of this and so much more, and the reason is simple. We know how to work together because we are Adams County.
Isn't that a wonderful video? Please give yourselves a hand. I meant that video. That video. That video actually shows the hard work and commitment that each and every one of you show every day as a county employee or as a county team member. I'm really trying to change it from employee to team members because, you know, we are a team, and I think that video really shows that. And as you were walking in, you probably noticed some buttons that say, "We are Adams." And then there's a card, and I really want to focus on this card for a minute. And it really talks about our cultural norms and values. And as an organization, I think we need to really live by these values and these cultural norms because that's what makes us a great organization. And so, you know, I know a lot of hard work and effort went into developing these cultural norms and values, and I just want you to take one and take an extra one and pass it to someone that hadn't had an opportunity to come to one of the employee meetings and give it to them. And my ask is really live by these because I think at the end of the day, that's what makes us a great county. And so I want to thank Jim and his entire team for really pulling a lot of these graphics and video during the last couple of weeks. And we have a very talented team, and I just want to thank him publicly. So thank you, Jim, and the rest of the communications team. In addition, you know, when the board asked me to step in as interim county manager, you know, it was an easy decision. One, because I'm honored, first, that they asked me, and second, because I knew I could do the job because of the team I have surrounding me. And at this time, I'd like to acknowledge that team. Heidi Miller, County Attorney. Patty Duncan, the interim deputy county manager. Brian Osler. And I'm going to start with Director Chris Klein in the back, Human Services. Director Nathan Mosley, Parks and Open Space. Director Jeff Bowman, Fleet. I'm going to try Director Ben Dahlman, Finance. Pam Matheson, Director of the Retirement Board. See if there's any, wait, where are we? Kevin. Kevin Beach, Director of Information Technology. And who? Oh, there you are. You're hiding over there, Stephanie Wild, the Director of the Animal Shelter. And I think that's it. A few other directors had other afternoon meetings and they couldn't be. Terry Lau, Director of Human Resources. During the other meetings, they all sat next to each other, so it made it easy for me. Now they all scattered, so they're trying to tease me at the end, the last meeting. I really couldn't do this job without any of them, and they really stepped up and they've made this transition really easy for me. And I just want to publicly thank them because I definitely couldn't do it without them. And so this afternoon, we have 2 short presentations. Last fall, we spent a lot of time asking you all questions, and we sent out an employee survey. And we contracted with a third-party vendor called NES. And there's 2 reasons why we really went with a third-party vendor. And one was we wanted you to feel comfortable by responding to these survey questions. And second, they really allowed us to look across the country and compare ourselves to other benchmarks. What are other counties doing and how are other counties rated? And so really the objectives are to assess the strengths of our organization, maybe some challenges that we're facing as an organization, and really look at some of the special needs that you all may have by contributing to that survey. And the method of doing that was an online survey, as you know, and I believe we had over 1,300 eligible employees that could take this survey, and only a little over 800 that responded. So that was an outstanding response rate, in my opinion, considering that we had 1,300 eligible employees to take that. So that gave us a 61% response rate. And our ultimate goal was to make sure that we're using these results to increase job satisfaction, to look at engagement, employee engagement, and really performance in the workplace and improve quality of local services. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some high points and low points. So in one area, really the aspects of job satisfaction, 92% of you felt that you plan on working for the county a year from now, which is a great indicator that says that you are satisfied or the majority of the folks are satisfied here at Adams County. And 83% of you said that you would recommend working for Adams County, which is a great tool for us for recruitment. We struggle trying to attract and retain talent, and this is an area that I really want to ask you to continue to help us. We're no longer competing with just local governments. We're competing with the private sector as well for some of these jobs. We're having a hard time finding jobs in our highway operations division. And so we're really trying to think outside of the box. How can we attract, incentivize people to come to Adams County? And then 83% of you feel positively challenged, which is key in my opinion for job satisfaction. It's important that you're not stagnant in your job, and we give you programs that help you develop and further professionally develop. So moving on, we compared, and I feel awkward because I don't want to have my back to most of you, when we compared high in 2 areas, one is recognizing high-performing employees. I think that's something we do outstanding as an organization. And you know, we have employee recognition programs like All Employee of the Seasons, or we also, last year at this time, we recognized the top 10% of the high performing in the organization. And so those are just 2 examples of what we do to recognize our high performers. And in my opinion, that's where we should spend most of our time, is valuing and honoring our high performers, because you all carry the weight of this organization. And so we are definitely trying to look at more creative tools to incentivize, like on-the-job awards and so forth. We haven't clearly defined that yet and taken it to the board, but that will be a priority over the next few months. Opportunities to develop a career path. It is my goal to work with the executive management team and in partnership with the Human Resources Office to work with department directors to establish job progression path for you. And so we're going to continue to look at those things so that you can further develop in your career. We want you to stay here. We want to retain you. We want you to help further develop you as you are a team member of Adams County. This slide I'm not too happy about, but you know what? In order for us to improve as an organization, we have to recognize that we have deficiencies, and we have to accept those deficiencies. These are 10 areas that we were lower than our benchmarks across the country. And, you know, communicating and inspiring vision, communicating information amongst all levels of staff in the organization, a clarity of strategic direction, those are all related to communication. We have an outstanding communications department, and we continue to look at ways, whether it's through email, whether it's through the every Tuesday newsletter, Workplace by Facebook, or the intranet via YouTube, and so forth. But you know what? We need to improve in that. And more meetings like this are going to occur throughout the year. It's not just one time a year. We're going to have another set, like Commissioner Odoricio mentioned, in October, and we're going to really bring forward the budget, the 2018 budget, so that you all know what we're approving and what we plan on addressing in 2018. Modeling high standards and confidence in leadership, we've had a lot of change at top. And I want you to know there's one thing that we all have in common, and that is our commitment to serve our citizens. And that, I think, that brings us together as a team. And, you know, I'm so confident in the senior and executive leadership team moving forward that I ask for your patience as we continue to grow and develop. And, you know, it is our goal and our mission to model ethical behavior at all levels of the organization. You, as a team member, should also model that ethical behavior. It is important that we operate as a transparent government. And, you know, the board adopted a code of ethics several years ago, and it is our goal to bring training so that everyone is on the same page when it comes to ethics. Collaboration and morale in working relationships. You saw by that video, it takes a team. It really takes a team to do what we do. And I mean, looking at the county fair, I mean, it involves more than just the Parks and Open Space Department. It touches almost every single department in this organization, and they couldn't do it without the support of everyone. And so that just demonstrates that we need to continue to work as a team and help each other and support and encourage each other. Morale is a huge one. There's been a lot of change in this organization over the last 3 to 4 years. It seems as if, you know, we want to fix something. What do? We reorganize, right? And I want you to know this last reorganization that occurred about a month ago was really in an effort to align key function in the organization in the appropriate place where they belong. I mean, we had people reporting to areas that really should be reporting to, like, for example, the front desk and the conference center, or the mail room, or the dock were reporting to the customer experience manager. Did that make sense? No, they really should be reporting to facility operations. And so we really dived in. We took a hard look and considered all aspects of this move, but we really felt like we brought forward those necessary changes. You know, a timeline for next steps. This survey, we put a lot of time and effort into it. We're not going to let it sit on a shelf and collect dust. We're really going to make an effort. We're going to involve all of you to help us draft an action plan. We're going to establish focus groups, and within those focus groups, we're going to ask you to contribute so that we could develop that action plan and improve in those areas that we need to, those 10 critical areas. And then we're going to implement that action plan as a team. And then we're going to come back and we're going to launch a next survey so that we can measure the effectiveness of that action plan. And so we're going to start walking the talk, and we're not just going to continue to ask questions and ask surveys and then not do anything about it. So you have my commitment with that. Moving on, so that kind of completes that short presentation on the employee survey. If you want a full report of that employee survey, it is uploaded on our intranet. And I really encourage you to start reading and diving into it, because there's a lot of great information in that survey. So the next thing I want to talk about is the quality of life survey. And this survey we sent to over 6,000 residents in Adams County. And it really gives us an opportunity to learn what our citizens think about how we're doing as an organization. And of the 6,000 residents, about 15% completed, which is a little over 800 residents responded, which seems low, 15% seems low. But when you compare us to other cities or counties in the nation, that really is a good response rate. And so we feel proud that we were able to capture some of that data from that survey. 382 residents that live in incorporated Adams County responded, a little over 400 that live in unincorporated responded. And there's a difference. You know, the people, we have a little over 90,000 people that live in unincorporated Adams County, and they look to our Board of County Commissioners as their city officials, as their officials that, you know, are responsible for providing a level of service to those residents. And we have a lot of historic neighborhoods in Southwest Adams County and throughout the county that really rely on us to provide that service. And so we felt like we got a good response rate to capture what we were looking for. 68% of the residents are pleased with the quality of life. This Board of County Commissioners are committed to improving the quality of life in Adams County. Commissioner Hodge mentioned in her opening remarks that, you know, her family's been here since the 1950s, and I'll tell you, you know, she is right. We've had some black eyes. We've had a bad reputation, but we're also known, you know, as Denver's dumping ground. All the landfills, all the gravel mining pits are located in Adams County, and all the heavy industrial, and we're trying to change that through their strategic vision for the county. And so I will tell you that if I'm a betting man, I'd bet that 68% definitely comes higher next time we go out and rate, because they're doing an outstanding job of really planning for future growth in this county. We are the fastest growing county in the state. Our population is close to 500,000. We're going to be close to over 700,000 by 2040. And so it takes, you know, that strategic planning that is necessary for us to develop. And there are some challenges I'm going to talk to you about a growing county. But I'll tell you, 41% of those citizens cited open space, parks, and trails as the most important aspect of a quality of life. And these county commissioners have put a lot of resources into our parks and open space and trails system. They spent nearly $1.7 million in renovating Rotello Park in a historic neighborhood, Welby, and it's beautiful today. You know, I drove my family by there the other day, and it's great to see just people using the park, and that's what those parks are intended for. Same with the regional park. We have one of the most beautiful regional parks in the state, and we continue to invest in that park. We're going through a master planning process because it's our goal to develop the southern piece of that and have our main entrance to that regional park be off of 120th. And that's going to be the home of our new animal shelter and adoption center right off 120th. And so we are really making an effort in terms of continuing to have you know, really a nice planned open space and an active use space as well. But there are some areas of improvement that are needed, and road maintenance is one. And this isn't a tribute to our hard-working highway operations team. They are dedicated and committed, and Commissioner Tedesco thanked them for their hard work. They have probably one of the toughest jobs in this county, along with many others. But I will tell you, this has nothing to do with the team that we have. This has to do with the growth that is occurring in Adams County. We are continuing to grow, and as with growth, there's challenges, and that is trying to keep up with that growth. And so we are trying to invest in infrastructure. The county commissioners, as part of the 2017 budget, put nearly $5 million towards a road maintenance program, including gravel maintenance for the eastern parts of the county. And that just shows you that their commitment is to really improve road maintenance going forward. And some of these are kind of the highlights. They added 5 new FTEs. They also approved 5 new road graders for the eastern part of the county. So they are committed to really catching up. And just to kind of give you an idea, in Gravel Road, In prior years, we only allocated $50,000 a year for gravel road maintenance. This year, $3 million. So really, the county commissioners really need, we need to thank them for really putting resources to make a difference in our community. A timeline for next steps. We're going through that 2018 budget process now. And I thought I saw Nancy in here, but she may have left. Oh, there you are. So we're really working closely with the budget office to make sure that we align the board's strategic priorities with the 2018 budget. And one of the things that we changed this year, in prior years, we had a leadership retreat or advance, whatever you want to call it, and we always talked about initiatives, but our budget was already approved, so we changed that. So this year in February, we spent 2 full days talking about what we wanted to accomplish in 2018. And so one of the things that we're going to do now, and we're going to have the other major changes, we're going to have a budget retreat. We've never done that before. And the department directors and the elected officials are really going to come together, and they're going to present their budget in front of the Board of County Commissioners off-site, which is key, because this allows us an opportunity to align all of our 2018 strategies with our budget so that we have a successful budget planning process. As part of that, we're going to also implement an action plan. And then we're going to launch our next quality of life to measure the effectiveness of our budget. And so we're really trying to tie those two together so that we can measure the effectiveness of what we're trying to accomplish in 2018. I will also tell you that we calculated, the executive management team and all the department directors were really working together, trying to tally up all of the initiatives and projects that we have on our plates. We've counted over 150. We're busy. We know. We are continuing, and I just want to thank you for just going above and beyond your role sometimes in contributing to making this county great. And so that really concludes this short presentation, and we're now going to jump into a Q&A. And I had we stopped by and picked up a few bags of corn nuts because I wanted to try to make it fun, but then I thought, well, that might be too corny. So, but we want to make this fun for you, and we really want to make this interactive. And if you do receive a bag of corn nuts, Jim I don't know where Jim disappeared, but he has some little nice gifts that he'll give you. And then we'd like to also invite you to have lunch with the executive management team if you so desire to do so. And so that lunch will be on me personally, not on the government P card or anything like that. I will personally pay for it, but that will leave it as an option. I don't want to force anyone to come to lunch with us, but we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to ask the executive management team to come up, and the county commissioners are also welcome to join us in answering some of these questions. So thank you. It's been a long week. I'll tell you that.
Ray's given this presentation 5 times in 3 days. I think. There's a question.
Yes. There. Oh, we do need, I think, hold on real quick. Do we have another mic? Because we don't. Okay, so we do need another mic, but I'll run. I need the energy. And
Hi.
then if you want to grab that mic, that might work.
So I've heard government described as technology on policy. What's the county's vision in terms of investing in technology to enhance internal operations and services to the citizens?
So, hey, you get the grand prize. You get the first question.
Do you mind stopping the recording and try throwing it again so I can catch it on the video?
Yeah, I think we just need to
Here.
So great question. Question was about information technology and investment. I believe the county's commitment's very strong. As you know, we just completed, Kevin has been great. We just completed a IT staffing study We're just getting the final draft now, and so that's something that's going to be going before the board here soon. And so I think that really shows, the commitment that the organization has. That was done by an independent consultant to really see, one, how do our resources align with all the projects. We know that, in terms of information technology, there's a huge demand within that department in terms of projects. I know that the project list is well over 100. And the resources are thin. And I know that that's not just in IT, and there are other internal organizations or departments that are having some similar struggles. And so that study has been big, and we're on the final rounds of the draft. We're reviewing it, and that's something that will go before the board. And that will help us to align the resources with the projects to certainly make our jobs easier, because we all see the value in technology.
I would add to that, we have an amazing IT staff. And we have some challenges in other parts of the county that we need to address. For example, at our Parks and Open Space Department, we can't use a credit card when they're trying to rent one of the shelters for the community. We require the citizens to come in, write a check, and that's it. And so we're really trying to improve in those areas where we're deficient, and we're really working with the IT department, because I do believe information technology is being innovative. And so I think we need to invest more in information technology, and this team is committed to working with Kevin in terms of 2018 to make sure that he has the resources and tools he needs.
I think that's a good question. I think I have a few others that I've been proud to see implemented recently. Building Eye. How many people have seen Building Eye? You could go out on our website and look at the link, but it allows you to see what different code enforcement actions are out there. Citizens can look at it, staff can look at it. It also allows you to see what permits are outstanding. We've also implemented an e-permitting system, which I've heard of positive feedback from both people in the community as well as others internally. I think the sheriff has a new app for your phone. He's also got the My Neighborhood Update, so citizens can go out there and look up your neighborhood in unincorporated areas and look and see what kind of crime has been responded to or reported in certain areas. Our GIS department continues to impress me every time they come up with something new. I think that's pretty fun to watch. I'm not done yet. YourGov application is something that we're pushing in the neighborhoods, and we're starting to see more people use more and more, and that's being able to report things like code enforcement issues, potholes, or even trash being left in certain areas. Internally, how many people here have tried Workplace by Facebook? Yeah, you get your Facebook fix during the day, right? I think that's another example of us trying to be innovative and try new things to help promote some better communication. If you look at the other elected offices, I think that you've seen that Stan Martin with his kiosks, you look at the additional new technology with the elections has been impressive. You look and see Bridget Grimm doing things with the treasurer's office for online payments, and look at the data analysis that's going on in the assessor's office. I think we're seeing that there's technology all throughout the county. But it's a process, it's not a destination. I think it's a good question to ask, and we should always ask it. But I've, as a former IT guy, coming in and watching this county for 15, 20 years, closely watching it before I even became an elected official, I will say that I'm really impressed with staff and the commissioners that were here even before I got here to think ahead on some of these apps. So, thank you.
Other questions that we can answer? Yes. So the question is the regional park, the entrance, how long is that going to take to change it, and what are we going to do with the existing road? The road right there that goes into the park, correct? Nathan.
Come on down, Nate.
I think a lot of it will depend on when we can get the money for it. I know. Do you want to write me a check right now, please? No, a lot of this, the discussions have started with finding a destination for the animal shelter, and I want to thank Stephanie and her team and everybody that worked on that, because they looked at, I think, 30 different sites, and they had a set of criteria for the animal shelter. And when they looked at all the different sites, the regional park made the most sense. And so by bringing that venue to our venue, it's going to help leverage other funds and try to help expedite those things. So right now we're doing a master plan process. And if you've come to the fair before, you know that getting in and out of that place is quite difficult. And the civil people on our team have said that having our entrance off of 120th will be one of the biggest things that can help with ingress and egress, because it's going to add more than a mile of queuing space between 120th and 124th. But then it's also going to put people out onto a road that's built to sustain that sort of traffic. So I think the long-term goal is for the animal shelter to open up in, like, say 2019. So I think that would be our goal, is that we complete 120th to 124th as part of that project. It kind of all opens up at the same time. So I would like to say that that would be done by the fair of 2019. And then the other roads they're gonna stay in place. It's just they'll kind of function more like an internal park road. And we've even talked to Jeff from Transportation about doing on-street parking and things like that along 124th and slowing traffic down, but giving us more places for people to park. So we're really excited about it.
You know, the only thing I'd add is we're also looking at how to improve the traffic, you know, for major events. And, you know, we've been working with our transportation department, and they are recommending, you know, a roundabout at the current entrance on 124th. And so if we do complete that road and make that our main entrance on 120th, it will eventually lead into a roundabout. That way traffic flows in and out of the regional park appropriately. And a secondary access is also being identified so that you don't have just one point of access. So. Yes, we do. How many acres was it?
The park is over 1,100.
1,100 acres.
South of 124th, there's 3 old gravel mines, and so we entered into an IGA last year, and so those are going to be turned into water storage, so there'll be 3 new lakes down there. So we're working with those companies in order to put the infrastructure in, so there'll be 3 new lakes, and then the part of the master plan is to look at the sort of amenities that we would have in that area. So we'll have more park amenities on the south part, and then it's looking at replacing the indoor arena that we had to demolish, and some of the other needs, new grandstands, new facilities there, because those were all built in the late 60s, and so we really, in order to keep that high level of scores from the community, we want to make sure we're reinvesting. So we're working on that.
And the Parks Department, we're about to acquire Willow Bay. It's a lake just north of E470. And we're very proud of this because it's going to cost us a little over $9 million, but we received $9 million in grants to acquire that land. So, I mean, it's another area that we're just going to add to our existing regional park to offer more amenities to our citizens. And that will definitely have to go through another master planning process for active use and so forth. But there's a lot coming, and you get a bag of corn nuts. Any other questions? Any other questions? You only get one bag.
Yeah, we'll repeat it.
Yeah, we'll hear it.
Appreciate you taking another question of mine. So my question was for Patty, actually. As the new
Interim deputy.
County manager, you guys are all interim now.
Except for Heidi.
Okay. What do you see as the 3 biggest internal operations challenges that you see where the most opportunity for improvement?
Sure, I've been asked what I have identified as the 3 top challenges for internal services. I think that was the question. So this is my 3rd week, and I've had an opportunity to meet at least once with each of the individuals who I'll be working most closely with. And what I can say is there is a lot going on here, a lot of moving parts. My sense is meeting with Kevin Beach and looking at that staffing study, recognizing even before assuming this position, knowing the challenges with IT, because the Sheriff's Office IT operation interfaces with yours. So I think that is a big challenge for the organization, is playing catch up, I would have to say, in the IT area. As far as other challenges, I think the request I've heard is for some stability. I think in my first week, about 12 people said, we just would like some stability. If you could help with that, that would be a great thing. So I think this leadership team has talked a lot about that, and we're certainly going to do what we can to address that concern. And let me see if I can think of a third. I think I still need to assess a little bit more, spend more time with the directors and really get a sense of what's going on. But my commitment is I will do whatever I can to help to address the concerns that I'm capable of helping with.
Anybody else? I will just say, since we were kind of joking about the fact that I'm the only one up here who's not interim, that I want you guys to be comfortable and assured that the fact that there's interim in front of these titles means nothing. These individuals care as much as anyone I've ever known in these roles. They are extremely committed to you guys as employees, to the county, to the commissioners, and to our citizens. I am extremely optimistic about the county. I've worked here for 11 years. I've seen us go through various ups and downs over those years, and I think we're in a really good place, and I'm really excited about the opportunities and about the commitment up here and the energy and the enthusiasm I see.
And as the chair, I think I need to add that we would not have them in the position that they're in right now if they weren't totally qualified people to be in these positions. And they have the backing of the commissioners 100%. We believe in this team. They've been an outstanding team, and we continue to believe in them and support them at 100%.
If you're not asking questions because you don't want to have lunch with us.
I told you that was optional, so.
We still have more bags, more corn nuts. Throw them a bag.
Question only because I want Ray to buy me dessert. So my next question is, can you talk about the current state of the retirement plan and any changes we may see in the next 12 months?
I think I'm going to have the retirement board executive director come and talk a little bit about it. I will just mention briefly, there's a tremendous, I think right now, a great partnership that's going on in working with the retirement office and retirement board. We did do a study, and we're looking at, going into the 2018 budget process on things that, what could we further enhance with the retirement plan? Is there something with deferred comp that we offer as another benefit? That's your third stool or third leg to the retirement stool that we have. It's Friday, guys. Give me a break. But that deferred comp plan, some of the things that we're looking at with other jurisdictions, could the county do like a monthly match, to get more people active and engaged with deferred comp? That would definitely make us more competitive in the market as well.
Thank you. No, I'm good, thanks. So as you know, currently we have the 2015 VAL, and we're 56% funded on a actuarial value rate. We're currently waiting for our valuation to be delivered. It'll be delivered at the June 6th meeting, so if you're interested in coming, you're certainly welcome to do that. We do know that our numbers will increase because we had a significant increase in our investments last year. We were at 8.9%. So the county commissioners asked for an outside independent auditor to do, or actuary, to do evaluation on the retirement plan. And as it came back, we were amongst our peers. Yes, we are less funded than the other four 401As in the retirement world in Adams or in Colorado. But we came in with some better benefits than the other four retirement plans. So because we have a rule of 70 still, and we have a rule of 80 with a minimum age of 55, many of the plans have changed, and they're now rule of 85 with a minimum age of 60. If you want to go to work for Para, they're at rule of 90 with a minimum age of 60. So we're still in the market for bringing people in with really good benefits. One of the pieces that Brian mentioned was that the commissioners are looking at what would happen if we change the vesting from a 10-year vesting, and that is on Tier 3 people who were hired after January 1 of 2010, and if we reduce that from a 10-year vesting to a 5-year vesting. So that is certainly something that we are working on collectively to see. And then if they could do that other piece of the deferred compensation, that would be an additional piece that would help all of the employees.
Thank you, Pam. Any other questions? Trust me, when our former director Mike Goins was here, he asked me to call the owner of the land all the time to come mow their weeds. So I hear you. We don't. So all the land in front of us is part of a 600-acre mixed-use development owned by Adams Crossing, and so it is a private development firm. And you know why it's been so slow is because retail or commercial development follows rooftops. And so as Brighton and Commerce City continue to develop more residential housing, then we'll start seeing the retail follow. And so I do know that most of you probably have already seen land, development or dirt movement across the street. They are getting ready to develop a mixed-use development that will include some single-family housing units. And so once we start seeing those housing units go up, I do believe that we'll start seeing some commercial retail. I mean, it's a goal, but it's within the city of Brighton, and we continue. Every time we meet with the city manager there, I constantly remind them that they need to really focus on their southern portion of their city because it's really the gateway into the city as you're driving north up Sable. And it also could provide more retail opportunities for Reunion and some of the Commerce City residents. So, but I agree with you. I think 5 years from now, it'll look completely different. There is a hotel planned for this site, and so it will be busy. It'll be a busy center or crossing center as soon as it opens.
A lot of it.
A lot of patience in the economic development world, yes.
You want a bag of corn nuts? You want me to throw them? Yes.
No.
I would.
But if you haven't been to Prairie Center, they did open on Old Chicago's, and some other Old Chicago. What was
Red
it?
Robin's.
Red Robin is open.
It's
Not open yet, but and Arby's is coming. So more restaurants will be opening in Prairie Center. Yeah.
What's the-
35-minute wait for lunch at Old Chicago, Commissioner Hott said so.
Rich.
Oh, the Old Tomahawk. Do you want to talk about?
I know there's food.
Food in the fridge. All right. So the Old Tomahawk, they had to close that down. They were trying to get the people who used to own it wanted to rebuild the truck stop. Part of rebuilding the truck stop is they wanted to make sure that they connected to the city services, which was the water, sewer, all of that, because they have a water treatment plant right behind that truck stop. They wanted to get rid of that. Some of that fell through. They changed owners. Finally, the city said, we're not going to do any more extensions on the property. It's going to shut down. So right now it's in limbo. I do know that they want to get rid of it. I do know that they want to rebuild something there that could possibly be that hotel that they're talking about. This whole property out here, I think that being optimistic, 5 years would be great. But you got to understand what's going on around us. Commerce City is not focused on this area up here. They are with the new rec center that's going on the other side of I-76, but their focus for retail and restaurants and all of that is the 104th and Chambers area. They're really focused on bringing all their businesses into there. They want to build a secondary city central in that area. So you're going to see their focus there. I'm not saying they won't bring something closer here. I'm just saying their focus is there. I will say that Brighton, and I won't speak for their city council, they are focused on Prairie Center. They've put a lot of money into that Prairie Center area. And it's a huge draw. And what they're really trying to do is join it into Tower Road. So if you look at Tower Road, Commerce City is going to widen Tower Road to 104th. And then the idea in the future is to bring Tower Road, swing it over and connect it into Buckley and create this Prairie Center Parkway that they've always talked about, which is a direct shot all the way down to Colfax. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make sure that when people come out and relocate, they have businesses all along Tower Road, all the way up to the Prairie Center. What their idea is to keep Tower Road open north of 104th, but more as an arterial kind of frontage road to go to the Bar Lake area. I hope that helps with some of that information. There's really you asked about what's happening with the Tomahawk truck stop. I think one of the things, I took a tour of it not too long ago when it was closed down, the restaurant, and they still had food in the refrigerators. And I will tell you this, that if you're a curious person like I am, you don't want to go in there and open a refrigerator because it was bad. But it's going away. I don't know what's going in. They are working on a housing development across the way. I do want to give props, though, to our newest commissioner, one of our newest commissioners. Sorry, Mary, taking your title. Steve worked really hard with Brighton on a master plan that he probably should talk about for agritourism and with the small acreage and agriculture for Brighton in a future plan. And these are the types of things our commissioners bring to us and we work on, and we work on with passion. And I think it's a great thing that's going to happen here in Brighton in Adams County, and it's going to catch on, and you're going to see it in other places also. So if you want to hear about that, I'll volunteer him to talk about it.
I wish I could take that kind of credit, but I can't. I was a big fan of it. Staff came, and they've been working with Brighton for a long time on this. But I immediately, when I heard about it, became a big fan. It's called the District Plan. It's working with Brighton and Adams County along that area between I-76 and Highway 85. We're calling it, I kind of call it the breadbasket of the metro area. And we're really trying to promote some of that agritourism, that agribusiness, the food industry, everything from the industrial to the commercial to the processing, and of course that tourism piece, which is a lot of fun. But I do think that that is going to be an exciting thing that will happen around this building, is a lot of that development. Hopefully people will see it. That included some folks talking about even agriburbia, where people can include agriculture and food within suburbia, you know, where you kind of incorporate some of that into the themes of subdivisions for housing. So once again, I appreciate the credit, but I am a big fan of it, and I think that the staff who worked really hard on it and the staff from Brighton, really you will start to see some pretty neat things happening up here and really highlight some of that agricultural history of Adams County.
And to add to that, it just received an award from Dr. Cogg. So the staff who were involved in that were honored at an event ceremony about a month ago. So, any other questions? Roxanne? Well, we're hearing that, and that's great feedback. And, you know,
we've had a lot of discussion about that.
Want to have some more?
So the new vendor that moved in, they just moved in, I think, 3 or 4 weeks ago. They won the bid within Adams County. So the first one was Front Range Airport, now here. They're going to go into the Justice Center in mid-July. They really are looking for opportunities for feedback. I would suggest reaching out to the facilities director, David Ball, or to Patty Duncan, or to any of us. Send us emails with feedback so we can get that information to the vendor. I know that facilities is meeting with them on an every other week basis because the vendor is very interested in our opinions and how they can be successful here. So we need to hear that.
More food.
More food and hot food.
I will tell you, Roxanne, I will personally meet with Yes. Roxanne, I will meet with the owner, and if they can't accommodate what we are asking them to do, then we'll have a different conversation, because this has been one of the most common complaints that we're receiving through these all-employee meetings. And so it's a serious concern with weather conditions like yesterday. None of us wanted to leave this building, and when you went down, they were out of food. So, you know, I do, you know, you have my word on that.
Plus, if you don't keep Chaz and me fed, we get bitter. Angry.
Yes, they do.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Thank. Yeah. No,
It
it's
might be
good.
an optimistic rumor.
I think there's a question right here. So we had a meeting in, I think it was the end of December, early January, and it actually involved all of the elected offices and departments in terms of security concerns throughout the county. And so right now we're looking at working with each department elected office on trying to understand what are the security concerns and needs that they have, and how can we address it. So there's conversation and a plan being put together right now, and we're working on it.
I thought I saw another hand. No? Any other questions?
No questions
Oh.
on pay?
So is Adams County ever going to implement like bilingual pay?
Actually, that's a great question. And those of you may, yeah, I'll ask Terry to jump in here. She's sitting in the corner. I'll ask, as a county, are we going to ever implement a bilingual pay or an incentive program if you speak 2 languages? And that has been discussed with the Board of County Commissioners, and that was made as a recommendation by our APROUD, which stands for Adams County Proud, which is our Diversity and Inclusion Advisory Committee. And I do know that there's a committee that is comprised of many members of the county. They're working alongside with Terry, and so I'll let you. Do you have anything else to add? Okay, perfect. So yes, Michael, it's in the works. Okay.
Yeah, we're out of corn nuts.
I owe you corn nuts. Yes, but any other questions?
I had a resident come in today. It started with Michael and it went through most of the county, at least most of this building. We had a resident ask if we're ever going to start selling Adams County flags. He was very interested in purchasing one, and Tanya is talking to Mike Cole about it. But I thought it would be a great way to raise funds to maybe help with Nancy's holiday decorations or something that we could do for the residents.
Yeah,
That's a great
Everyone
idea.
I mentioned this to has said, "Oh, gee, I'd love to have a county flag, even if it's just a little one to put on the antenna of my car."
That'd be great for our foundation.
That would be, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just
Actually-
something that we've not thought of.
That is
No,
an excellent
we
idea.
haven't. Yeah, that's a great. We can talk afterwards some more. That is a great idea. Absolutely.
And I can't have corn nuts. I'm allergic to corn.
Yeah, I don't think there is anywhere to send them. We're not doing
Well,
that
I
now.
send
so-
them to permits and planning, and I'm like, well, maybe they know.
Yeah.
So, and then I wound up with her.
Good question. Other questions?
Great recommendation.
Is Sable going to be white?
Yes.
White, sorry, Sable Ladies, is it going to be?
Sable.
Yeah, and, oh, you want to?
So I'm going to answer about south of 76. So Commerce City is actually in contract right now to widen that road. So you're seeing all that construction. That Highway 2 is going to be widened all the way down into central Commerce City. So you're going to see that widened. Brighton, on the other hand, is kind of a slower process because they don't have the density that they need, the traffic studies done that they need to do the widening. And it really kind of depends on the development that comes in, like the Adams Crossing across the way. They'll be required to widen sections of the road as they come in. They have put in a stoplight at, what is it, 136th and Sable. I don't know if that's better or worse. I know that if you try to make a left-hand turn at those, it pisses everybody off behind you. So I don't know if it's better or worse, but I'm glad they did something. There was a lot of accidents there. So, but as far as anything north of pretty much this government center, it's really going to be reliant upon development as it comes in.
Speaking of traffic, are we ever going to get people to stop taking that left turn out of the north exit? They keep knocking down posts. Can we put concrete barriers or something? Because I've seen way too many cars almost get clipped.
Yeah, we'll definitely work with facilities in our transportation department and the city of Brighton, since it involves all two departments and another jurisdiction, so.
Yeah, because every time I'm behind someone, I get so angry with them.
Any other questions?
I think it's been pretty good participation for
Yes.
3:15 on a Friday. We appreciate you guys.
Yes.
Roxanne wants to know, what about the big concrete pipes on 136?
I think our oil and gas inspector's here. Do you want? I believe it's an oil and gas pipeline. Yeah. Does that answer, or do you want more?
They are putting in a gathering line, so there's gathering lines going in. I don't know if we have the oil and gas people. We have Jen. Yeah, you want to come down and talk about it?
Yeah.
But the actual facility out there is a gathering station, yeah, so all the pipelines are going to kind of join up into one area. I think Jen can probably talk about it better than I can.
Hi, I'm Jen Rudder, the environmental analyst and oil and gas manager. So this is actually going through the planning department. One part of it has been approved, and there's other parts that are still kind of going through our permitting process. But what you're seeing out there right now, it's coming from the central delivery point facility that's being constructed on 136th and 85. I guess just east of 85 on 136th, and they're going to be gathering a whole bunch of different from a whole bunch of different well pads in the area. They're going to take it all to this one facility and then transmit it from this facility through this big, large pipeline. I don't remember how many inches, but it's going to go 136 and then kind of jig-jog down over to Powhatan and then around Bar Lake and east of Bar Lake. So they're going to take it outside of the residential areas and take it out around Powhatan. Right now, there's only a natural gas line that's been permitted. The crude oil pipeline is going through the permit process as we speak. There's a couple other different pipelines that are planned for the area, but that's the one that you're seeing.
Thank you, Jen. And I just want to acknowledge our oil and gas team. If you could stand, because this team has been outstanding. Yes. Thank you. They get the tough questions from citizens every single day. So we appreciate your commitment. Any other questions?
Come on, you got all the transportation and fleet guys in here. You guys have to have a question. Like about your building? Lack thereof. See, that's a good question, right?
The guys were talking, they kind of wanted to know if there are any plans for late stations.
So our facilities department is going through a facilities master planning process, and we're going to take all of that into consideration. We are in the process of looking at improving, or actually looking at designing and building a new fleet facility and highway operations building. And one of the sites that we're really strongly considering is the existing site. And so it would be a phased approach, but it would address all the needs, and it would be a brand new facility. We also recognize there's a need to improve our Strasburg facility as well and other areas. And so we've never gone through I think the last facility master planning process was conducted in about 2005. And so it's really outdated. And so this gives us an opportunity to really, from a comprehensive perspective around Adams County, really address all of our facility needs countywide. And fleet and highway operations is just one aspect of that. So, yes. Any other questions? I know, and I'm really embarrassed that we have facilities in those conditions, and so, that is a high priority for us to get those addressed. And communications is another area.
I just want you to know, Eva and I came in 5 years ago, and what we saw in our facilities was, it was horrendous, some of the things that we're seeing. You can only see that if you actually go out there, if you work there, if you do the tours. You can't see it based on these guys just coming in and sitting in the audience. You have to actually go out there and see this stuff firsthand. You have to know what they're actually working with. It's outdated, it's hazardous, it's just not conducive to what they're trying to do. When we came in, Eva and I, we decided we were going to focus on the areas that weren't focused on. We had new sheriff's office, we had improvements to the jail, we had all these fine facilities, and I'm proud we have them. Brand new government center, I'm proud to have that. But we had to decide priority-wise, what were we going to focus on first, and that was the human services building. We had to focus on that human services building. That building is absolutely horrendous, and it has over 700 employees in there. They were washing their dishes in the bathrooms. That's not to say you guys aren't doing the same, right? They actually had a bathroom, right? We were able to accomplish that, and we were able to accomplish that with minimal monies being spent on that. We refurbished some of the buildings that we found. We went out and did a study. Where do we put this building so that we're actually making an efficient impact on our workers? Are they actually in the area that they're servicing, or are we going to put them out in Brighton where they had to travel 8-10 miles just to get to their first client? We did all of that. We were able to do that. That building's going to open up here in September. Our next buildings are going after the facilities. They are going after the animal shelter. They're going after those buildings that have been neglected for so long. They each have their unique faults, but we have to address them. And I, personally, I can't talk about the other commissioners, but they are here, would like to focus on the buildings that have been neglected before we start improving existing buildings. Before we build another tower out here at the government center, let's improve those buildings that we've neglected for so long. You have our commitment. I think you've seen that over the years. We've invested in your equipment, new trucks, new blades, new compactors, everything you feel that you need out there, we've been respondent to that. Just like the sheriff's office, we've been respondent to their vehicle needs and their needs as far as equipment. We've been respondent to that, to the human services out here in IT. We've tried to do those things that we can do, but we have to prioritize on those, and we will be focusing on those buildings.
And I want to add also, I took a tour of fleets. I don't know if you all knew that or not, just a couple of years ago. And I actually brought my partner Steve with me because he works on fleets for UPS in Boulder and Longmont, because banking for 18 years, what do I know about fleets? And he was just absolutely astounded at the fact of what you guys have to work with and what you had to work with and what your mechanics had to work on. So I also, you have my commitment also to be putting money into the fleet because you guys deserve it and you need it. And you know, like you saw the survey. Our roads and transportation is the #1 important thing to our citizens in Adams County. I appreciate what you guys are doing. I really appreciate the working conditions you're having to work under. I feel bad and ashamed at the fact, but we definitely will be putting in some money into your fleet operations. That way we have an outstanding 21st century instead of the 19th century fleet operation for you all.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I'll do my best. I know that they are retrofitting a section of the jail to accommodate the mentally, those that need that kind of care. The board approved the addition of 10 deputies that will get specialized training to work with the individuals in that area. There will also be some mental health staff that will work in that facility as well. So it's currently under construction, and I think it'll be completed at the end of this year, first part of next at the latest, but is long overdue. So.
I can just add from a liability standpoint, inmates with mental health issues are probably our biggest area of concern. We have a tremendous amount, I can't remember the statistic, I think it's close to 30%, 35% of inmates in the jail, we have about 1,000 inmates in the jail, suffer from some form of mental illness. Obviously that varies in terms of the degree, but you can imagine that those with mental illness probably don't survive real well in a typical jail environment. And so what happens is that these inmates who might not interact very well with others are getting in fights with other inmates, are getting in fights with deputies, and then they're picking up additional charges for assault, etc. And it's this perpetual cycle that these people keep offending and keep coming back in the jail when really the problem is that they're not getting the mental health help that they need. And I had a gentleman come into my office the other day saying, you know, I'm just astounded that you guys didn't send this guy to the hospital if he clearly had depression issues. There's nowhere to send them. We have one state mental health hospital. So it's not like we can just say this person needs mental health, we're gonna send them to another facility. There's nowhere to send them. We have to treat them in-house. And this is really wonderful that the Board of County Commissioners supported this effort so that our jail can kind of be on the lead in terms of being able to establish these mental health units and maybe help these people get the help they need and so they don't end up back in our facility over and over again.
I don't think I see any other hands. Do I? A half day? Define half. I do plan on making a recommendation to the board on early release, and so just as previous years. And so I do plan on taking that to the board.
You're going to get 11 paid holidays.
There you go. Well, I don't see any other hands, and so I really, again, appreciate you taking the time out of your schedules. I know it's Friday. It's been a long week for many of us, and, you know, I just want you to know that we are committed, as Heidi said, and our doors are open, and I know that a lot of leadership always say their doors are open, but please, I meant, if you see us, these glasses only see a certain distance. I meant, we need your help to help us see our blind spots. And if you think we're going down a wrong path, I meant, let us know. I meant, we're all a team. We're here. We're committed. And, you know, I think we have the best jobs in the world because we get to work with all of you and live and work in a great county. So thank you, and have a wonderful weekend.
job. You got through.
You made it through fine.
I did get through.
Let's clean up and.
You're very welcome.